Unajua huyu ni mtu mgonjwa. Yeye anaongea kama nani? Hajavaa uniform, yeye si polisi. Yeye ni nani anatuambia tutaona nini?
You won't believe what just happened to Kenyan comedian Sammy Kioko, because this is not a joke. This is a nightmare.
Kigeto kwa samana na todhi. Kisawa. Usiandaviane tu kuona tuona chao. Hajavaa uniform, yeye si polisi. Yeye ni nani anatuambia tutaona nini?
A sister with her baby camping overnight outside a governor's office. No food, no answers, no mercy. 19 million Kenyan shillings gone. 2 years of silence, empty meetings, broken promises. But that is not all. Wait until you hear what they were told at the gate.
Sababu hii ndio kitu wanaweza. Huyu ni mtoto mdogo anasikia vibaya kabisa. Hii ni ofisi ya serikali, ni ofisi ya public office. Hayuko ndani kuanzia asubuhi. Mmemkataza hata ingie kwa ofisi. Hata kuona tu mtu ndani ya ofisi mmemkataza. Hakuna mtu aje na ofisi iko kuingia tu kwa ofisi. Si unafanya appointment kama mwenye anahusika na appointment. Tumejaribu kufanya appointment ya ofisi tumekosa. Appointment tumekosa kabisa. Nimeenda mpaka huko kwa county secretary nimefanya appointment. Wacha kaya hapo. There is no harm. Wacha kaya hapo. There is no harm.
Toeni sarakasi hapa. Threats, intimidation while she begged for help.
The person who responded, the director procurement Machakos, I'm not a madman.
Tears as Sammy Kioko finally breaks his silence, posting a heartbreaking message that is now shaking the internet. He sold his car, he shut down his fashion business, all just to survive and save his sister. And when he called out the governor, the response shocked everyone.
The first deliveries meant were halfway. And there's no way the county government would have processed payment with the half deliveries.
Was this debt real, or were they being silenced? Politics or a painful truth no one wants exposed. Stay with me, because what happens next could change everything you thought you knew.
Kigeto kwa samana na todhi. Kisawa. Usiandaviane tu kuona tuona chao. Bizukisia na esa. Nya nasha nisite chao. Tuisite mwana unondo ambebo. Kisawa.
Now, here is where this story takes a very dark turn, and pay close attention, because what happened next is going to blow your mind. In the 2022 to 2023 financial year, Sammy Kioko and his sister Maureen were awarded a tender, a legitimate tender, a government contract. They were going to supply uniforms to Machakos County staff, specifically uniforms for county askaris, the security personnel you see every day. The value, 19 million Kenyan shillings, and that is right. For context, that is enough money to change someone's life, and that is enough to feed families, that is enough to build businesses, and that is enough to secure futures. Sammy Kioko and Morin were excited, so they went to work. But that is not all. Wait until you see what the county government said about this contract. The denial, the accusations, the betrayal. It gets worse, much worse. On October 31st of 2025, the Machakos County Government released an official statement, and what they said shocked the entire nation. They claimed that the allegations were unfounded. They claimed that this was a politically motivated scheme. They claimed that someone was trying to tarnish Governor Wavinya Ndeti's name. But it gets worse from here. Joseph Maduki, the county head of procurement, held a press briefing, and here is what he said, and I quote, "After checking our procurement documents, there is no contract with the name Sammy Kioko. He is not registered as a supplier with the Machakos County Government."
White House. Na imagine nataka tu kuona governor.
Let that sink in for a moment. The county askaris are wearing the uniform right now, the uniforms that Sammy and Maureen supplied, but the county is saying there is no contract. Mudhuki continued. He admitted that yes, a company was awarded the tender to supply uniforms, and yes, that company delivered the uniforms. But here is the twist. He said Sammy Kioko is not even listed as one of the directors or shareholders of that company. So the county's argument became this: we owe money to a company, yes, but Sammy Kioko has no right to speak about it because his name isn't on the registration document. Now, in the late October 2025, Sammy Kioko drove to the Machakos County Governor's office, the building locals call the White House. He parked his car outside and stayed there all day from morning until night, hoping, praying that the Governor Wavinya Ndeti would come out and talk to him. He posted a video from his car, visibly exhausted, emotionally drained. "I have been outside the governor's office since morning," he said. "There are people that have ensured that I have not seen the governor. My only hope is to talk to the governor and help would be appreciated. Things are bad." His voice cracked as he spoke, and this wasn't an act, this wasn't comedy, this was a man at the end of his rope.
Msanii jamani, things are not okay. I just need to see the governor. Kazi sisi tulimaliza, it's been almost, I don't know. Ama wale watu huwa mna supply kwa counties, jamani mtuambie kwani inafai kuchukua miaka ngapi ndio mtu alipwe? Because hii yetu imeenda sana. And what we need now ni kuongea tu na governor, tuangalie kama governor anaweza tusaidia.
Desperate, trying to save his family, fellow comedians Nasra Yusuf and Nikki Big Fish visited him at the county offices. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Their friend, their colleague, sitting outside a government building like a beggar, when all he wanted was money he had rightfully earned. But the governor never came out. Days passed, no meeting, no acknowledgement, just silence. And then, after Maureen returned from India in January of 2026, she made a decision that would break the internet, a decision that would force Kenyans to pay attention. She was going to camp outside the governor's office herself, not in a car, not for a few hours. She was going to sit on the ground with her baby, and she wasn't going to leave until someone listened to her. On February 5th of 2026, Maureen arrived at the White House, the Machakos County Governor's office. She brought one thing with her, her infant baby. And then she sat down at the bare concrete floor in the heat with her child as she refused to move. 12 hours, 12 full hours she sat there. A mother, a business owner, a woman who had delivered on her contract, sitting like a beggar, waiting for someone, anyone to acknowledge her existence. Security officers watched her, county employees walked past her, people stared, some whispered, others took photos, but no one from the county governor's office came out to help. No one offered her a chair, and no one invited her inside for conversation. Sammy Kioko was devastated. He posted on social media, and the post has gone viral within hours. Here is what he wrote, and these words deserve to be heard exactly as he wrote them. To the governor, your silence is loud. She has been at your office gate for 12 hours with no one to help or listen to her. I have exhausted all avenues to reach you. Now, I am forced to use social media. Please, let your people tell us the truth. The endless meetings and the empty promises have drained us. The truth may hurt, but it's what we need. He continued. To the officers at the gate who offered her safety and understanding, asanteni sana. And then, the part that revealed the full aura of what was happening, we forgive and understand those who came to threaten and chase us away in the name of Toa Sarakasi hapa. She desperately needs help, not intimidation. So, she was threatened. County officials came out, not to help a mother with a baby sitting on concrete, but to threaten her, to chase her away, calling it Sarakasi, a circus, a show. A woman fighting for money she earned is being called a circus act by the very people who owe her. But here is the beautiful part. Here is where humanity showed up. Some of the security officers at the gate, they didn't chase her away. They offered her safety. They gave her understanding. They saw a mother suffering and they treated her with dignity. And one county employee, a woman, a mother herself, couldn't stay silent. She sent Sammy a WhatsApp message, and thank God Sammy shared this message because it proves everything. The message read, As a mother, I am just concerned. I have been seeing you and your sister in our offices. Is everything okay? I saw your sister outside the White House. She seems not to be okay with the baby. Kindly reach out to her, and if there is a way I can offer my small help, let me know. This employee, whose name we don't know, asked for Maureen's number so she could help. A complete stranger, showing more compassion than the government that employed her. Now, some of you watching might be thinking, maybe Sammy Kioko is lying. Maybe there really is no contract. Maybe this is all made up. Now, let's talk about the evidence because Sammy Kioko came prepared. He has the local purchase order, the LPO, the official document from Machakos County Government requesting the supply of the uniforms. It has dates, it has signatures, and it has official stamps. He has the delivery notes, signed and stamped by the county officials when they received the uniforms. Every batch, every delivery documented. He has the invoice, made out to the company name that was awarded the tender. The same company the county admits exists and admits received the contract. He has WhatsApp conversations with county officials, messages about deliveries, messages about meetings, and messages about payment timelines. He has photos of the uniforms being delivered to county offices. He has photos of county askaris wearing those very uniforms. And when YouTuber Oga Obina interviewed Sammy Kioko on his show on November 10th, 2025, Sammy brought all the documents. He shot them on camera and he let the public see everything. And here is what is interesting. After that interview, the Machakos County Government sent a demand letter to Obina, not for an invitation to discuss, not a clarification, but a legal threat. The letter signed by the county solicitor Juliet Ntambi demanded that Oga Obina provided documents proving Sammy Kioko's claims. But wait, these documents were already shown on the interview. They were right there on camera. The letter accused Oga Obina of hosting, publishing, and disseminating false information. It claimed the information was skewed, false, and malicious, and does not paint the real picture of what was going on. So, where does this leave us now? Where does this story end? Well, as of today, February 6th of 2026, the fight continues. The 19 million shillings remains unpaid. Maureen's health struggles continue, and Sammy Kioko's financial crisis deepens. But here is what has changed. The whole county is watching now. Every Kenyan who has ever trusted a government contract is watching. Every small business owner is watching, and every person who believes in justice is watching. Let me paint you a picture of what this crisis has cost, not in money, but in humanity. Sammy Kioko had to move out of his home in December of 2025, evicted. A successful comedian, a business owner, an educated man with a university degree, forced out of his house because the county government wouldn't pay him. Maureen had to close Mudaka Fashion Designs, the business she built with her own hands, the source of income for her family, gone because they used all their capital to fulfill a government contract that the government refuses to pay for. The employees of Kioko Designs lost their jobs. How many families depend on those salaries? How many children couldn't go to school because their parents worked for Sammy and Sammy couldn't pay them because the government wouldn't pay him? Maureen's health deteriorated to the point where she needed to fly to India for treatment that should have been easily affordable with the 19 million shillings she earned. Instead, she had to rely on public fundraising and the generosity of strangers. Sammy Kioko sold his car, his personal vehicle, the symbol of his success, sold it because his sister needed medical care and the government that owed them millions was silent. And then there is the psychological cost. Sammy has spoken openly about his depression, about the dark days and nights, about feeling low, about being accused of tarnishing the governor's name when all he wanted was his money. Marion Jones, the psychological expert, explained it perfectly. What Sammy is experiencing is a natural human response to prolonged stress and helplessness. But here is the question. Why would anyone have to experience this level of stress because the government won't fulfill its basic obligation? The public response to this story has been overwhelming. Social media has been flooded with messages of support, anger and disbelief. One commenter in particular wrote, because they thought the owner was no one important in the society, they intended to frustrate her until she gave up. That comment captured something crucial. Would this have happened if Sammy Kioko were a politician's relative? The pain in these comments is real because every Kenyan knows someone who has been cheated by the system. Every Kenyan has had stories of contractors waiting years for payment. Every Kenyan understands that this could be their story. Some offered spiritual advice. For now, leave the online space, take a Bible and read some verses. So here we are, a comedian who made Kenyans laugh is now making Kenyans cry. A family that trusted the government is now begging the government for what they are owed. A mother sits on concrete with her baby while bureaucrats hide behind technicalities. The question isn't whether the county owes the money. They have admitted the uniform swipe delivered. They have admitted payment is pending. The question is, when will they pay? Governor Wavinya Ndeti has remained silent throughout this ordeal. No personal statement, no meeting, no timeline, just silence. And as Sammy said, silence is loud, it speaks volumes. But here is what gives me hope. You're watching this, you're learning this story, and you're part of the pressure that will eventually force accountability, because governments can ignore individuals, but they can't ignore masses of people demanding for justice.